Now, let's dive into one of the most essential tools in any SEO professional's toolkit, Google Search Console. Think of Google Search Console as a direct line of communication between your website and Google. It's a free service that helps you monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in Google search results. It provides deep insights into your website performance. You can see exactly which keywords people are typing in to find you, check your indexing status to ensure Google can actually see your pages, and identify any technical errors that might be holding you back. By consistently using Search Console, you aren't just guessing what works, you're using data to improve your SEO and boost your website's visibility. If you want your site to rank higher and perform better, this is where you start. It is paced to allow for natural pauses and highlights the practical value of Google Search Console, GSC, for students. Now that we've discussed how search engines work, let's talk about one of the most essential free tools in your SEO arsenal, Google Search Console. Think of Search Console as a direct line of communication between your website and Google. It's not just about tracking data, it's about managing how your site is seen by the world. Here is exactly what we use it for. Setting your preferred domain. First, it helps Google understand if your site should be recognized with or without the www prefix, ensuring your brand stays consistent. Submitting sitemaps. This is how we officially tell Google, hey, here is a map of my entire website, so it can index your pages faster. Monitoring crawls. You can actually see when Google last visited your site. If Google isn't crawling you often, your new content won't show up in search results. Health checks. It allows you to check your robots.txt file to make sure you aren't accidentally blocking Google from seeing important pages. Link auditing. We use it to see who is linking to us and how our internal pages are connected. Troubleshooting. One of the biggest time savers is the crawl errors list. It tells you exactly which pages are broken so you can fix them before they hurt your rankings. And finally, my favorite part, keywords. Search Console shows you the actual terms people are typing into Google to find your site. This data is pure gold for refining your content strategy. Now that we've covered the basics of SEO, let's look at one of the most powerful, and free, tools in your arsenal, Google Search Console. Think of this as your direct line of communication with Google, performance and URL inspection. First up is the performance report. This tells you exactly which keywords are driving traffic to your site and how often people click on your links. If you ever wonder why a specific page isn't ranking, the URL inspection tool allows you to see the page through Google's eyes to check for errors, technical health, indexing and sitemaps. Under indexing, the pages report shows you which parts of your site Google has successfully found and what might be blocked. To help Google find you faster, we use sitemaps, essentially a digital map of your website that you submit directly to the console. User experience is a major ranking factor. The Core Web Vitals report measures your site speed and stability, while mobile usability ensures your site looks and works perfectly on smartphones, which is where most of your traffic is likely coming from. Safety and backlinks. Finally, the Security and Manual Actions tab warns you if your site has been hacked or penalized. And for your off-page SEO strategy, the links report shows you exactly who is linking to your site and which of your pages are the most popular. Mastering these features is the difference between guessing your SEO strategy and knowing exactly what works. Let's dive deeper into how to set up your first report. Next, let's talk about a critical tool in every digital marketer's toolkit, Google Tag Manager, or GTM. Think of GTM as a command center for your website's data tracking. That if you wanted to track a button click or a purchase, you had to manually paste code into your website's backend. This often meant waiting on a developer. GTM changes that. It allows you to manage and deploy tracking codes without ever touching the core website code directly. Key benefits. By using GTM, marketers can add, update, and manage multiple tracking scripts, like Google Analytics or the Facebook Pixel, with just a few clicks. This not only improves your tracking accuracy but also significantly reduces your dependency on IT teams. What are tags? Now, you might be asking, what exactly are tags? Simply put, tags are small snippets of code, or pixels, designed to gather data and send it to third-party platforms. For example, you'll use tags for Google Analytics to track page views, Google Ads to track conversions from your campaigns, or even tools like Hotjar to see how users interact with your site layout. Throughout this course, we'll learn how to set these up step by step. Now that we understand the purpose of Google Tag Manager, let's dive into the 3 core pillars that make it work: tags, triggers, and variables. Think of these as the engine of your tracking setup. First up are tags. A tag is essentially a snippet of code that tells GTM what data to collect and where to send it, usually to tools like Google Analytics or Metapixel. For instance, a simple page view tag tells the system to record every time someone lands on your site, triggers. Next, we have triggers. If the tag is the what, the trigger is the when. It's the set of conditions that must be met for a tag to fire. Common examples include a user clicking a sign up button, submitting a contact form, or simply waiting for the page to finish loading. Variables, that is specifics. Finally, we have variables. These are placeholders for values that change. They store the specific information that tags and triggers need to function. This could be the exact URL of the page, the specific text on a button, or a unique form ID. The variable provides the info, the trigger decides the timing, and the tag sends the data. Master these three, and you can track almost any interaction on your website without ever touching the source code. Now, let's dive into one of the most powerful tools in a digital marketer's toolkit, Google Tag Manager, or GTM. Think of GTM as a middleman between your website and your marketing tools. Instead of asking a developer to manually add code every time you want to track something, you simply add a single GTM container code to your website once. From that point on, everything happens inside the GTM dashboard. You create tags, which are pieces of tracking code, and tell them exactly when to fire, using triggers and variables. Once triggered, GTM seamlessly sends that data directly to your analytics and marketing platforms. It's faster, cleaner, and gives you total control. First, it's the standard for Google Analytics tracking, ensuring you see every visitor's journey. It's essential for conversion tracking, allowing you to see exactly which Google or Meta ads are actually driving sales. Beyond just page views, GTM lets you track specific user actions, like button clicks or form submissions. And if you want to know how engaged your audience really is, you can set up scroll depth and event tracking to see how far down the page they're reading. In short, GTM turns your website data into actionable insights without the coding headache. Now, let's talk about one of the most essential tools in a digital marketer's stack, Google Tag Manager. If you've ever had to wait weeks for a developer to add a simple tracking pixel to your site, you'll understand why GTM is a total game changer. GTM allows for faster tracking implementation because it reduces developer dependency. You, as the marketer, can deploy tags yourself, which means you can go from an idea to live data collection in minutes rather than days. It also provides centralized tag management. Instead of hunting through thousands of lines of website code, everything is in one dashboard. Plus, with built-in triggers and variables, setting up easy event tracking, like button clicks or video views, becomes incredibly intuitive. If a new tag breaks something, you can revert to a previous version instantly, which leads to significant error reduction. Finally, it supports multiple platforms, working seamlessly across websites and mobile apps. GTM gives you the speed, control, and accuracy you need to scale your marketing efforts without the technical headaches. Let's dive into the dashboard and see how it works. Now that we understand what Google Tag Manager is, let's talk about what it actually does for us on a daily basis. Think of GTM as the bridge between your website and your marketing data. GTM is perfect for tracking link clicks and button clicks. Want to know how many people clicked your Call Now button or an external link to your social media? This is where you set that up. We also use it for form submissions, which is critical for lead generation. It tells us exactly when a user successfully hits Submit on your contact page. Moving into the ROI side of things, GTM is a powerhouse for e-commerce. It tracks conversions and specific shopping behaviors like adding items to a cart or removing them. Perhaps most importantly, it helps us identify shopping cart abandonment. By tracking these steps, we can figure out exactly where customers are dropping off and target them with remarketing ads to bring them back. We use GTM for file downloads, like PDFs or white papers, and scroll behavior, which tells us how far down a page a user actually reads. And if there is a unique action that doesn't fit a standard category, you can create custom events to track virtually any movement a user makes on your site. GTM turns ghost visitors into actionable data points. It gives you the why and how behind your traffic so you can make smarter marketing decisions. Now, let's move on to one of the most essential tools in any digital marketer's toolkit, Google Analytics 4, or as it's more commonly known, GA4. GA4 is the latest evolution of Google's analytics platform. While previous versions focused heavily on simple page views, GA4 represents a major shift in how we understand data. It is designed to track and analyze performance across both websites and mobile apps simultaneously. Instead of just looking at hits, it prioritizes user behavior, events, and end-to-end journeys. This means you aren't just seeing that someone visited your site, you're seeing how they interact with your brand across different devices before they finally make a purchase. By using GA4, businesses can move beyond basic reporting to gain deep insights. It helps us understand our users on a personal level, improve our site performance, and ultimately, make much smarter, data-driven marketing decisions. Now, let's dive into why Google Analytics 4, GA4, is a total game changer for digital marketers. Unlike the older versions we used to rely on, GA4 is built for the modern web. It moves away from simple sessions and focuses on event-based tracking, giving us a much clearer picture of how users actually interact with our content. Whether they are on a mobile app or a desktop site, GA4's cross-platform tracking stitches that journey together seamlessly. With built-in AI and predictive insights, it doesn't just tell you what happened, it helps you predict what your customers might do next. It's smarter, it's more privacy-focused, and it's the core of any data-driven marketing strategy today. If you want to master digital marketing, you have to understand these 7 key features: event-based tracking and enhanced measurement. We are no longer just looking at page views. Every click, scroll, and file download is an event, and GA4 tracks many of these automatically right out of the box. User-centric data model, GA4 focuses on the person, not the device. This allows for cross-platform tracking, meaning if a user starts their journey on their phone and finishes on a laptop, you can see that entire path. Advanced reporting and AI, this is where it gets exciting. GA4 uses machine learning to fill in data gaps and provide predictive insights, like churn probability or potential revenue. GA4 is designed to work with or without cookies, ensuring your tracking remains ethical and compliant. By mastering these tools, you aren't just looking at numbers, you're uncovering the story of your customers' behavior. Transitioning from Universal Analytics to GA4 wasn't just an update, it was a complete shift in how we measure success. Let's start with the key metrics you'll be looking at every day. Users. First, we track our users, both new and returning, to see who is actually landing on our site. Events. Unlike older versions, GA4 is event-based. Every click, scroll, or video play is captured as an event, giving us a granular look at user behavior. Engagement. We've moved past simple bounce rates. Now, we focus on engagement rate and average engagement time. This tells us not just if they stayed, but if they actually interacted with our content. Conversions. And finally, the most important one, conversions. This is where we track the specific actions that drive revenue, like signups or purchases. Now, to get the most accurate data, you need to enable additional features in your admin settings. Internal traffic. First, make sure to filter out your own team's internal traffic. You don't want your own clicks skewing your conversion data. Data retention. By default, GA4 only keeps user data for 2 months. You'll want to manually extend this to 14 months in your settings so you can perform year-over-year comparisons. Google Signals. Lastly, don't forget to toggle on Google Signals. This allows for cross-device tracking, helping you understand how a user might browse on their phone in the morning and finally buy on their laptop at night. Mastering these metrics and settings is the difference between guessing and knowing. Let's jump into the GA4 dashboard and see where to find these settings live.